Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. Today as always we were going to take a quick look at the crypto markets and then go through some news from the last day or two. So let's get started by quickly refreshing CoinMarketCap here. We see the markets after shooting up quite significantly yesterday, after hitting about 220 billion from about 202 billion and then crashing a bit in a correction. We see them now just about $211 billion. That is about the same point where they were hanging 24 hours ago, with most tokens moving up or down about 1%. In the top 10, the clear winner of the day is XRP for the second day in a row, now up at 45 cents again after testing 40 cents for a while. It is also gaining on Ethereum a bit, now only 3.3 billion in market cap away after it had fallen to over 4 billion in difference again a couple days ago. Another notable one in the top 10 here, Tether, which had crashed for a moment down to 92 cents yesterday, has gone back up to 98, is now almost trading at a US dollar in value again. So it seems the immediate crisis here has been averted, but it will have to be seen how the crypto world reacts to a US dollar stablecoin that has shown itself not to be that stable after a crash by 8%. That is of course not supposed to happen with a stablecoin. Aside from that, we see some movement here on number 17 with Tezos, which actually jumped up to 17, it was on 18 before, up 12% today. I believe it was added to Binance, correct me if I'm wrong, it was definitely added to one of the major exchanges, and the change in value can be attributed to that. Aside from that, not that much happening today. Bitcoin dominance falling ever so slightly to 54%, and the 24-hour volume is back down again to a more normal amount at 12.562 billion. And the major tokens, here we see Bitcoin at roughly 4.2 billion, Ethereum 1.6, XRP 0.5. Those are more normal amounts after that went up ridiculously much yesterday. So let us jump into the news. We have an update about Ethereum's next upgrade, which, if you remember yesterday, they had some issues getting the testnet working with it. Let's read what is happening here. All these articles are of course linked in the description. In the description as well, you will find ways to support the channel if you would like to become a Patreon supporter or anything like that, but also the links to all of these. So let's read. Repercussions are being felt in the Ethereum development ecosystem after an initial test of the platform's forthcoming software upgrade, Constantinople failed to deliver expected results. A system-wide change initially earmarked to go live in 2018, the code release meant to introduce 5 improvements and alter the economics of the $20 billion blockchain may now be delayed following a failure of Saturday's activation on the test network Dopson, developers told CoinDesk on Monday. After a meeting of Ethereum's open source developer team last Friday, in which it was suggested that Constantinople could be implemented as early as November, Saturday's failed activation revealed unexpected issues in the code. Namely, a bug was discovered by security lead for the Ethereum Foundation Martin Holst-Swende, one which caused 2 different iterations of the same software upgrade to run on testnet. Though a patch to fix the identified bug has since been issued, independent Ethereum developer Lan Rettig explained to CoinDesk Monday that investigations into the events of Constantinople testnet release are ongoing. Rettig said, "We should take our time to understand what went wrong and how to avoid issues like this in the future. Not just the low-level code issue, but all of the related issues, the mining issue, communication issues over the weekend, how it wasn't caught by the tests, etc. There's a lot of forensics still to be done." Rettig also affirmed that plans for Constantinople's release could be delayed as a result, asserting, "If an upgrade causes a fork on the testnet, we should put the mainnet release on hold for some minimum period of time." While a fixed date for implementation of Constantinople has yet to be set, Griff Green, Ethereum community lead and founder of blockchain-based nonprofit Giveth, set mainnet activation for some time in 2019. I would expect it to get delayed to 2019. The blockchain doesn't take holidays, but developers do, Green said. If I were to make a wager on a prediction market, I would put my Ether on late January, early February. Ethereum core developers have agreed to collectively regroup this coming Friday over a live stream call that will find them discussing plans in light of the failed test implementation. So there's at least two angles you can, and the article continues, but this is more general information about what was going on with the update. You can read it, of course, if you're interested. But we have the core of the news here. In my view, there's two core perspectives you can take on this. And I think there's some value to both of them. First off, it is of course very good that they found this error on the testnet. Imagine the mess, the catastrophic mess, if this had happened on the actual Ethereum blockchain and not on a testnet. So it is very, very good that they took the time to properly test this before and that they found this bug on the testnet before it goes properly live on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's very good. That is a level of professionalism there that we don't necessarily see everywhere in the crypto space. Now the other perspective is that this is a much needed upgrade, and pushing it back all the way to early 2019. Of course we have no set date yet, but that seems to be when it is set to happen now. That is a bit worrying because Ethereum needs this update. The difficulty bomb needs to be delayed. There is uncertainty around how the blockchain is going to continue functioning, what the future will bring for it, and the one thing that genuinely annoys me a bit about this is that they're not calling for an extra meeting to discuss this, but that instead they are waiting until next week Friday. That is a whole 10 days away to discuss this on their normally scheduled developers conference call. Why they aren't doing a call today or tomorrow to get some consensus on this is anyone's guess. But it's generally I think I have faith in the Ethereum developers, and I think that this will go all fine once they figured out some more details and set a new date. But I wish they were going to this with some more. I wish they gave this some more attention and some more priority. I feel like waiting until the next regularly scheduled call over a week away is a bit yeah, I think they should do this a bit faster if they could. Now I don't expect them to have an official announcement today, but it should be faster than waiting 1.5 weeks to even talk about it with all the devs. So that annoys me personally a bit. Now of course these are all busy people, but for most of them, Ethereum is the most important thing they are involved with, and when a major issue is found in a new update and they have to delay that update, the decisions about that should be made as quickly as possible and not when they were going to talk the next time anyways. So I'm sure there would have been a way to either move that call forward or to schedule another one, even if not everyone can be there at the same time. This doesn't worry me as much, as it's just not the level of professionalism I would like to see from the number 2 blockchain. They are dealing, as this article pointed out, with $20 billion worth of value on that blockchain. I would like to see more priority given to this kind of stuff. But in general, I have faith in the team, and if you don't see it the way I do, that is perfectly acceptable, of course. I'm very hopeful that they will figure out a solution and that we will have a new date by next week. Hopefully everything will run just fine then. Continuing on, there are some rumors, or rather some good reason to believe, that Deutsche Bank, one of the biggest banks in Germany and in general in the world, a massive banking conglomerate, might be getting ready to use Ripple's technologies, maybe even XRapid with the XRP token in the future. Let's read this article from Global Coin Report for some information. The online world of business is undeniably changing, but have we seen its full extent yet? Perhaps the answer lies with the blockchain technology. Some studies point out that with blockchain like Ripple and of course other similar ones like Stellar, important to point out here, Ripple is not the blockchain, Ripple is the company. Other ones like Stellar, or the ones that might come to the party, integration by the banks, they will be able to realize significant savings. Banks will enjoy cost reductions not only in their payment processing, but also as reconciliation alongside compliance and treasury operations. Deutsche Bank, I believe that is Deutsche Bank, I'm pretty sure that's Deutsche Bank, is one of the most talked about banks in Germany. It is the second largest bank in the country by asset size as well as the central institution. The bank functions as both a central institution as well as corporate and investment bank. Concerning potential Ripple Interledger Protocol integration, the bank has listed a couple of slides in a recent report, blockchains and potential impacts on reconciliation. It is not rocket science to what they... This is not a sentence, once again. I always say this, but these articles are full of sentences that are not correct sentences. It is not rocket science to what that may mean just because the protocol is all about cross-border transactions. I think there's a verb missing here. There's probably a no missing here. And here we have a tweet. We are very confident that Germany will move as well ahead with Ripple. See full clip from, and this is someone promoting his own YouTube channel. If all that means Deutsche Bank is considering to welcome Ripple Interledger Protocol to their platform, it won't do anything different but probably a smile to the bank users and across the Ripple community. Once again, not a full sentence. But the thing we're looking out for here is not proper grammar, but the core of the news. And the core of the news is that Deutsche Bank, DZ Bank, oh sorry, that is not Deutsche Bank, that is Volksbank. I see the logo here. That is not, that is Deutsche DZ Bank, die Initiativbank Volksbank. That is not the same as Deutsche Bank, very sorry about that. But it is also a huge bank. This is my childhood bank. But I was with a local affiliate that had a different name. But yeah, it's a huge bank. And the crux of the whole thing is these slides that they had in a recent internal presentation. And these were definitely considering how the Ripple Interledger Protocol could be used for international monetary transfers. Now, to my knowledge, no mention of the XRP token itself here, but then people dug up something else interesting, namely another bank that is wholly owned by DZ Bank and who are testing XRP. As we see here, Reisebank is actually testing XRP. They are an official partner with Ripple who are testing XRP for use in international monetary transfers. And they are completely owned by DZ Bank. So what the discussion is now, what the rumor is now, is that DZ Bank is testing XRapid with the XRP token by using Reisebank, the smaller bank that they own, as essentially a testing ground. They want to see how implementing XRapid technology with Reisebank works, what kind of savings they can get if there are any issues, and if everything works out fine, that they might integrate it into their core banking products. Of course, DZ Bank, as a large investment bank, as well as a parent corporation for a lot of smaller banks like Volksbank and Reisebank, as we said here, are dealing with a lot of international transfers and a lot of large investments, so this could be absolutely huge for XRP if they were to integrate it. Now, like I said here, these are rumors. These all we know is that they are considering Ripple in some way because they have included it in their official slides. We have no idea if they have any concrete plans to integrate it or if they are looking at XRP, but seeing that they own a bank that is testing this kind of stuff, that is testing XRP, that gets me very hopeful, because if DZ Bank started working with XRapid, that would be by far the biggest client Ripple has onboarded to XRapid. That would be the biggest news that XRP has ever seen. Now, there are some really large banks already working with Ripple, but using XCurrent technology, not using XRapid to our knowledge. If DZ Bank decided to start working with XRP, they would be by far the biggest bank that is using the token directly. And that would be absolutely enormous. Don't get your hopes up too much. What I personally believe is happening here is just they are using their subsidiary to do some early testing, and that isn't even proof that their subsidiary will definitely use the technology, but this is a sign in a good direction that they are most likely considering it. So very good if you're an XRP fan, this is very good news. Continuing on, I talked about Line a couple times here before. It's a huge East Asian company that does social media, that does video streaming, that does messaging, that does everything. And they are building up their own blockchain platform, and they are now releasing their token on an exchange. Bitbox, the cryptocurrency exchange launched by Japanese messaging giant Line, has announced it is now listing its own token for trading against several major crypto assets. The company said Tuesday that the Link LN token is now exclusively available on Bitbox in trading pairs with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the US dollar-pegged stablecoin Tether. The move marks the latest step taken by the company as part of its efforts to apply blockchain and cryptocurrency to mainstream use cases. Bitbox announced in August that it had launched a proprietary blockchain network called LinkChain that utilizes a combination of delegated proof of stake and practical Byzantine fault tolerance as its consensus mechanism. As CoinDesk reported at the time, the messaging firm plans to hand out 800 million of the total 1 billion Link tokens for free to users who participate in decentralized apps that are already being launched on the LinkChain network. Line added that in the coming months it is launching 3 new decentralized apps focusing on various types of product review, via which users can earn Link tokens in return for contributions. The firm launched the Bitbox crypto-to-crypto exchange in July this year, making it available for all in countries except the US and Japan due to the regulatory requirement for a license in those 2 nations, making this Japan-based exchange ironically unavailable in Japan. But yeah, Line, if you are not Japanese or have any contact with a lot of Japanese people, there's a good chance that you have never heard about Line before, but within Japan it is an absolutely huge company. It just hasn't really been able to move out of East Asia. I believe it's also relatively big in some other East Asian countries, but in America or in Europe, most people have never heard about it. Unless you talk a lot with Japanese people, then a lot of people will ask you if you're online, because a lot of them are just using that as their main messaging platform, pretty much what WhatsApp is for a lot of people in the West. So Line launching their own cryptocurrency and network for decentralized apps is of course huge. And now we see a more concrete form of that with them actually selling their first tokens. Like mentioned in the article, they are planning to give away most tokens for free, which is a completely unusual system. I don't think we have seen this from a large project where 80% of the tokens were just given away for free to users who are already using the large infrastructure, but it is very exciting to me. Now, we have seen, of course, some airdrops, but this is different because these are going to people who are already in Line's huge ecosystem. This is going to their established user base and not an attempt to get, say, Ethereum users to also use their token. Anyway, next up, more Asian news. The Baidu TRON partnership that was rumored yesterday is apparently true, is apparently really happening, and now we have some more details, but it isn't quite as extensive as some people might have hoped, at least according to this report, so let's read this. The unconfirmed partnership between decentralized internet project TRON and China's largest internet search provider Baidu will center on cloud computing resources, not blockchain, according to a report published by O'Daily on October 15th. The report, as cited and translated by local crypto news source CN Ledger, states that Baidu Cloud and TRON have closed a deal to cooperate in terms of basic cloud business. It claims that both parties will work to maximize intercompatibility and to build, operate and debug blockchain products based on Baidu Cloud. However, according to the report, the partnership remains focused on the purchase and use of Baidu's basic cloud computing resources rather than being a connection at the blockchain business level. Furthermore, O'Daily reports that Baidu separately has plans to release its so-called blockchain commercialization super partner plan volume 1, which reportedly focuses on tech exploration and revenue sharing with commercial super partners to build a blockchain ecosystem that is mutually beneficial. As previously reported, Baidu released a white paper focused on the development of its superchain network system in late September, which introduced the idea of commercializing the Baidu Cloud Blockchain BaaS platform. O'Daily's report appears to add further details, while notably not yet officially confirmed, to last week's reports about a forthcoming TRON-Baidu partnership, citing private correspondence with the TRON team at the time. And then there was this tweet originally that started a lot of speculation. Finally, first time to partner with tens of billion US dollar valuation industry giant, guess the name, that Justin Sun tweeted out on the 12th. Now, the positive here, of course, is that it is looking very likely now that TRON is really working with Baidu. Baidu is an absolutely huge company in China, way outclassing the likes of Google there. Now that is of course partially because the Chinese government doesn't want people using Google. But absolutely huge tech company there, internet company. So that is the good part. I'm unclear about how much integration this actually is. And for starters, how much of Baidu Cloud is. Because Baidu Cloud seems to be their cloud computing platform, which is a large business, of course, but is very different from partnering with, say, Baidu, their main search platform or their cloud storage. So cloud computing doesn't have as large an audience, a user base right now as their other products. So them working with Baidu Cloud on their cloud business, on their cloud computing, on using TRON's technology in their resources, that is big news. It is not as big as TRON working with Baidu when you just see that headline necessarily sounds. So I think this is generally good news for TRON. I could see how some people might be disappointed with them, with the details of this. Of course, we don't know that many details yet. But as it is looking right now, it doesn't look like as deep a partnership as you might want from a company as huge as Baidu. This looks like one of Baidu's much smaller subsidiary companies integrating TRON to a limited extent. Now, I could be wrong here in my assessment, and I am waiting for official confirmation and for more news. But from what we know, this looks like a good partnership, but not any really huge news that should move the TRON token in any significant way. This is not any kind of huge integration into a major consumer product, but this is a first step. And who knows if Baidu might want to integrate them further in the future. It is definitely not bad news. I do think right now it's looking to me like it might have been slightly overhyped. But TRON has been accused, or Justin Sun in general, in particular rather, has been accused of overhyping partnerships in the past. And I think we just have to keep in mind that he is just, I don't think he's actually trying to overhype anything. I think he just gets very enthusiastic and people read too much into that. So this is a big partnership. It's not quite as big as this tweet makes it sound. But that is not necessarily his fault. Some of that is down to us for expecting too much. All in all, this seems like a perfectly fine partnership, like a step in the good direction, and this is a collaboration with a huge tech company. And now, last but not least, Mike Novogratz in the news a lot, of course, because he's giving a lot of predictions about the crypto markets and about Bitcoin in particular. And he seems to have amended his stance to now say that Q1 to Q2 of 2019 will bring new highs. Let us read this and then I'm gonna end this video for today. Investor and cryptocurrency bull Mike Novogratz has fine-tuned his Bitcoin price outlook, repeating to Bloomberg Monday, October 15, that it would not break $10,000 in 2018. The Galaxy Investment Partners creator, who is known for his optimism about Bitcoin's future, had previously called a bottom in the market in mid-September. Now, he thinks more time is required for momentum to build to take prices higher, and the long-anticipated wave of institutional investors piling into the cryptocurrency space will only occur next year. And his actual quote, "I think Q1, Q2, if the institutions start coming in, will put in new highs," he told the network. Novogratz was speaking the day Fidelity Investments announced it would release a custody solution tailored to such institutional investors looking for security when interacting with crypto assets. While this was a boon for Bitcoin, Novogratz said the solution needed testing prior to it attaining mass interest based on investor trust. They'll probably be up and running in January or Q1, he continued. And another quote, "And then you've got to run some water through the pipes, so my guess is you start seeing institutional flows into purely crypto assets late first quarter or early second quarter." Other finance commentators have so far stuck to more daring price predictions for the end of this year. Meanwhile, FundSpread Global Advisors analyst Tom Lee, for instance, maintaining a possible $25,000 Bitcoin price by the new year. In late September, Lee further forecast Ethereum rising to $1,900 within the same time frame, 40% more than its record highs. So you have a kind of conservative but still high-ish prediction here that we will see something resembling a crypto bull market late Q1, early Q2 of 2019. Once more institutional money flows in, and I have been saying for a while now that I don't necessarily expect a bull market in 2018, that I think 2019 will see most movement, and that the only thing that I personally believe will really move crypto markets this year is if the SEC approves the previously rejected ETFs. Now that might very well happen. We will get news on that early next month. But that, I believe, is the only thing that could really cause a bull run, excluding unforeseeable events. That is the only foreseeable thing that might launch a bull market before 2019. But as it's looking right now, I also think we're in for more of a small but steady rise. And then we might see either an explosion in price or continued exponential rise in early 2019. So I am with Novogratz here. And with that, I'm gonna thank you for watching as always and end this video. I do these videos every single day with news and my opinions about the markets as well as the news that we've gotten that day. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. All the links to all articles are in the description, as well as ways to support the channel on Patreon, where you get some small perks for supporting me, and special thanks to my Patreon supporters as always, as well as some ways to send direct donations to the channel if you would like. There's also an email address where you can ask me questions if you want to be included in a potential question and answer video. I don't have enough questions yet. I know I've been talking about it for a while. I am still planning on doing it at some point, but like I said, I need more good questions. And there are my social media links as well. I have a Twitter and Facebook page for this channel. So if you fear not always getting my videos on YouTube, make sure to subscribe on one of those platforms as well. Thanks for watching, and I will be back with another video almost certainly tomorrow.